the Candace Owens interview with Ye speaks a little bit more to that, right? He talks about Prodigy from Mobb Deep.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, listen, personally, I thought he died of sickle cell, the complications because he had sickle cell anemia, right? But even if you Google it, he died from choking on an egg. And the crazy thing is he died from choking on an egg like 2 days after going on Piers Morgan and saying 9/11 was an inside job and talking about the Illuminati. So listen, crazy time to choke on an egg. I'm just fucking saying, you know what I mean? Like, listen, if you wanted to leave a rabbit hole, that was the time to choke on an egg, my G.
Was it an egg or was it an eye? I'm just throwing that out there. Oh,
did
no.
Did they get Clintoned? That's the question of the day.
You just threw up the hands of the Illuminati. Deezy. I ain't being sacrificed. It's got to be you, Deezy. I'm sorry. That's what's...
Yeah, right, dude. Like, I'll fight magic with magic. They don't want to fuck around and find out.
Oh, shit. You got that magic connection? Is that what you're saying? You got that Harry Potter magic?
I'll summon something for him. I got these hands.
Well, okay. But I do want to talk about the Candace Owens thing. There are definitely conspiracies surrounding Kanye, too. I think Deezy, you were saying that there is a number of, conspiracies and questions around various things related to Kanye, which Candace does talk about. They kind of touch on it. I don't know if that's something you want to delve into. Do you? Because, excuse me. Something that I think you brought up was maybe all of the stuff that's happening around Kanye is by design. That it's not just about, Kanye being an artist and getting high and stuff. It's about control.
Listen, as Kanye West said in that interview, you can Google this, right? So if you want to go there, we can go there. But you can Google this.
So I think the thing that really kicked into high gear was, so there's a number of events, and I don't know what's in good taste or not, but there was the death of his mother, which he himself said. Now, I don't know if he was in the right state of mind or whatever, but he himself said that there may have been something sacrificial to what happened there. There is a video of him saying that. I think Deezy's going to bring it up. So this is not us speculating. This is Kanye speculating himself.
All right, here we go. We'll give them their credit.
There's volume.
Yeah, we need sound.
Oh yeah.
That's how they try to categorize.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? That I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. I'm appreciative.
Michael Jordan. What about him? His daddy. Right now in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control trauma. They could control Shaq. They could control Charles Barkley. They could control LeBron James. They could control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you.
Send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puppies, y'all Lil Boozy, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody.
Ooh. All right, listen. Dang. Hot take. In 2024, Kanye West isn't crazy. Kanye West is just a fucking degen. He doesn't sound like the rest of these fucking degens in spaces and shit, bro. Like, like the head degen where he's like really knows all the conspiracies and like, you know what I mean?
To be honest, he sounds a little bit like Andrew Tate.
I mean, you know what I mean? This person's in the Matrix. This person's in the Matrix. This person's in the... It's the same shit. It's the same. Now, the problem is Kanye West, in everything Kanye West does, as per usual, ahead of his time, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, if he just started saying the things he's saying on Twitter in 2024, Kanye West wouldn't have never been called bipolar, right?
Right. He's
They
only
would have
being
never
called
said
out.
that shit.
It's only whatever because it's Kanye. There's plenty of people saying the same shit. So,
Well,
but
I still don't think it would be as bad if he just started saying it now.
right.
I
Right.
think that at the time there was more total control. And now
Right.
there's platforms where it's like he's not going to get canceled. He's not going to whatever. He doesn't this is how he doesn't have a complete L in this situation. And he's a billionaire
Right.
again, right?
Right. Right.
Because there's still places that are like, no, Kanye West is a genius and we're going to work with him regardless, right?
Mhm.
But in 2024, there's more of that. And I think he would have been less canceled if he wasn't the first one to say it 4 years too early. You know what I mean?
That I feel like that's a lot of it. He's always been about 5 years, 4 or 5, maybe 8. I feel like the whole MAGA thing now, he's way ahead. Now the majority of America, I think, is cool with MAGA, Make America Great Again. I mean, at least according to the polls. I don't know what's going on with that shit, and I don't really want to get into that right now. But
According to the polls, it's pretty much
He's
tied between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. I don't know.
no. He's losing the swing states. But anyways, we're not getting into that. It's anyways. But yes, Kanye West has been ahead of his time forever. Forever and a day. He's at least 5 years ahead.
maybe we'll find out that nitrous is good for you.
No.
No.
No. This is the
He's just
problem.
he's just ahead of the curve, guys.
No, this is the problem. The dentist is taking this man from society.
Hmm.
You know? Let's say, why don't we just take this one into consideration? This guy always says that he's a vessel for God. Do I need to continue? Like, how would you take it out? How would you take out the vessel for God? You know what I mean? You destroy the thing that makes them this special thing that brings this,
Hmm.
you know?
Kill the light inside.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. Again, I'm not religious, so couldn't tell you. However, it does seem like murder of the mind to me.
Yeah, of course. Well, Deezy, I mean, do you feel that this is not just a circumstantial thing, that there is a conspiracy to destroy the light that is Kanye West?
I don't know how deep into that rabbit hole you really want me to get, but
Let's go. What do you think? Lay it out there.
I mean, there's definitely an organized group of people who don't like people talking out about their agenda and will do whatever means necessary to keep those people under wraps.
No, I'm kidding. Well, this is what he clarifies.
Was that vague enough? I think that was.
Again, it's not our opinion we're discussing, right? Like he clarifies though in the Candace Owens interview, he's not talking about all Jewish people as a whole.
Right.
He says like he's talking about a small select group of business owners and executives in Hollywood specifically, right?
And to be fair, he talks about how on some level he does admire them. That he feels that part of his I guess part of his, how do I say
Well,
this?
he also believes the Black Israelite thing, right?
Right.
So so then he believes that Black people were the original Jews,
Yes.
and that this whole Roe v. Wade and all this stuff is to push the mass genocide and abortion of Black children because they are the true quote unquote Jews, Moses's Jews, right?
I mean, I'm not familiar enough with the Black Israelite thing, but if that's the case, then it seems like that's what he's implying.
And listen, that his theory makes sense, right? I'm also not familiar, but what he says at least makes sense on a basic level. He's like, this is where the religion comes from, is over there.
Right.
So it would make sense that the people were African when the religion's being made in and around Africa.
Ethiopia,
I don't know.
right, is the original origin of all this kind of stuff. Again, I'm not an expert. I don't know for sure, but
I don't know.
we need to get if you okay, hold on. If you are a Black Israelite, come on the show. Tell us about it.
I'd love to learn about that stuff because, again, like, I want to know everybody's story. The point of being able to know the truth is to hear everybody's story, and then you can make a really educated guess of what the truth is, right?
I agree. That's why free speech is so important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that, again, whether or not it's true, he should be able to say that he believes these things. I don't think it's a problem that he believes these things. I also, well, he states that there's a lot of people in Hollywood that are of Jewish background or have dual Israeli citizenship or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's Bill Maher that says you don't need to have like this global conspiracy when you have converging interests, right? So it's not that there's this big conspiracy for Jews to run the world and take everybody down, and it's just that interests align. So I'm not doing it really for you. Like, I'm doing it because it makes sense for me and you, like, as a whole, right? Like, this is the same thing that I want. So sure.
But there is something, and again, I think he says it as a sign of respect, which is that the Jewish community stands by each other, that they help each other, they support each other. And if you see someone who's a fellow Jew, there's a certain, I mean, there's a cultural understanding, but there's also a certain element of we're in this together. A lot of that comes from post World War II, after what happened in Germany, that there's this unity that they have. And he's
they've had
spoken
a
about
unity
how
forever because regardless of the reasoning why, and you can come to your own conclusion, but they've often been kicked out of places where they consider home, right? So you can understand having a camaraderie within the diaspora of your religion when you are oft persecuted and, like, kicked out from where you're staying and living and considering home.
Yeah, I mean, any culture that is, and I don't know if we should delve into sort of that side of things, but I can say, just as someone who's Indian, I see myself as an individual. That's my philosophy. You know, the Indian side of me, to me, is not I don't believe that your skin color or that type of thing matters as much as your values and how you conduct yourself, your behavior and your values. To me, that's number one. But there is something to be said for when I meet someone else who's Indian, we have a common understanding of our cultural experience, especially if they're a second gen Indian person that grew up in the United States. You know what I'm saying? So there is that common understanding, and there's something to be said for. I've never benefited from that in any particular way. To be fair, I've never been like given preferential treatment for anything because I'm Indian, and I can't honestly say I've ever been discriminated against either, at least as far as I know. So, but I mean, hey, if you got in-group preference and it's benefiting you, are you gonna, are you gonna tell a gift horse no? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you gonna stare it in the mouth? No, I'll take that shit. Yeah.
This is the point, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the gift horse is each other at all points, right? Because it's a community.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I think that it is kind of admirable to see, like, a whole community of people, a whole diaspora of people that take care of each other and, for the most part, help each other out, right? So I can see why he envies that or sees that as a good thing.
Well, the issue comes when a group decides to seek control, and that's any group.
But are they seeking? This is the point. Are they seeking control, or is it just converging interests?
Right, and culture. That the
Right.
culture itself that they abide by lends itself to
Right.
being to success, or lends itself to, because Candace brings up like Chinese people, Asians.
Well, this is the thing, right? Is how is it racist to talk about them? Like it's the same. If it's true, which again, we can look at. I don't want to, but it is true. Not saying there is a conspiracy, just saying who the owners are.
Objectively.
Objectively, right?
Right.
So, and I agree. If you were to talk about nail shops, you would say they are primarily Vietnamese owned. It's a Vietnamese dominated area. I don't understand how that's racist if it's true. You're not necessarily saying it's bad. And then on the other side of that, where it's like, okay, it is true. If these people, regardless of race, all take offense to what you are saying, and then even though they have not talked to each other, they do not like you, and they make it harder for you to move in this industry, that is it fair to say that they are making it hard for you? They are blackballing you? I don't understand. Why does the race matter? You can say the race because it's true, but regardless, the thing is objectively true as well.
Look, Indians are known for motels, hotels and motels, hotel, motel, patel. That's one of the things Indians are known for. So on some level, I can understand if you went to 10 different motels owned by Indians and you were mistreated or treated poorly, that you might want to say something about it and say that this is unfair. I do understand, on the other hand, making a blanket statement saying that one particular type of group hates whatever or is trying to control whatever, that's where it gets a little dicey for me. Like I understand on some level, but I agree with you. I don't feel like that's what he's saying. I don't think he phrased it that way in terms of how he may have communicated publicly. And I do think that certain groups were looking for a fight, where they were taking, instead of going, "Hey, what do you really mean here, man?" They were taking what he said and immediately, trying to destroy his life. And then when somebody is trying to destroy your life, you may not even agree. You may not even agree that that was what you're trying to say. But how many times have someone offended you and you just like, well, you know what? Fuck you. Okay, yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe that was what I was saying. Like, it's not necessarily that you actually believe that, but if someone's coming after you, you get defensive, and you may double down just because you're that kind of person. That you're just going to double down because you don't put up with shit, or you're gonna, and it doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's correct, but it's one of those things where I can understand that on some level. So I'm not sure sort of how we got in this direction, but I do think that I feel like maybe he's been treated unfairly a little bit in that regard, and part of that is also his own doing. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I think he did it by design, right? And so kudos to you for getting out of the contract or whatever, because I think that he did say it a little more inflammatory than he needed to say it. I think he was a little too, I don't know, rude, offensive, however you want to say it. But he didn't lie.
Right.
And I think that this is the main problem here, is that truth needs to matter. So how I say something can offend you, and that's fine. And we never speak again, or you walk out of this conversation and we don't talk anymore. That's cool.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me I can't say something. And I think that maybe this is where things like mental illness and nitrous oxide play a role, where you don't just understand that it's converging interest and there's no Jewish conspiracy to take out Kanye West, right? Again, it's just converging interest. If you don't like Jews, I'm a Jew, you can't work with me no more. I'm good. You know what I mean? Because of his mental illness, it turns into, or drugs, it turns into, hey, there's a conspiracy to get Kanye West and take him out, and kill his mother, and you know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Because again, there can still be these objective truths and it not be, I don't know, racist or anti-Semitic or whatever. However,
guess what you're
saying
saying,
that there's a Jewish conspiracy to
right.
get Kanye West is where it turns from saying an objective truth to you're not really understanding this and you're being racist.
You're extrapolating something that cannot be proven here or there.
Yeah,
That there's an
exactly.
organized
Regardless if
conspiracy.
it's true. I'm not saying that they don't have a meeting and they don't want to take out Kanye West. I don't know. How the fuck would I know? I'm not invited. You know what I mean? But regardless, because you can't prove it, the only way you can look at it and stay sane is that, again, there's converging interests. You said things that are offensive to Jewish people. So, of course, Jewish people don't want to work with you. And you said that knowing that you work in a predominantly Jewish-dominated industry.
Right.
Again, this is not a bad thing. It's just a truth.
Yeah.
People who own the business, the media companies happen to have Jewish background.
I prefer to believe that Satan wants to destroy Kanye. That's what I prefer to believe. It's more fun,
bro.
It's more exciting. You know what I'm saying, Deezy? I think it's more fun, and the more fun conspiracies are the way that the world should operate because they're entertaining.